let's talk about Wendy Williams. As you know, we've been reporting a lot on Wendy Williams this week. I talked about her TMZ Live interview that she did. And I had to say, I have to be honest, I'm a straight shooter. It didn't look good for Wendy. She has new management. She did obtain the purple chair, probably everything else that she had in her hoarder's paradise. I say that lovingly because that's what she used to call it as well. And now we're getting more behind the scenes understanding of what happened between NeNe Leakes and her daytime talk show and how Wendy Williams may have been involved in squashing that dream. And apparently it all begins with Tom Arnold. What? I know you're probably like, wait a minute. So let me just get into this, and then we'll get into our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. So Tom Arnold is talking about how he and NeNe Leakes were supposed to have a daytime talk show with debar-mercury, the people that produced the Wendy Williams shows, or at least did, but now are producing the Sherri Shepherd show. And I saw that Sherri Shepherd was on The View yesterday talking about, this new, what is he say? What's poppin' topics? That's what they're going to call it. Okay. Look, Hot Topics is not originated by Wendy Williams. She just made it better. It's originated by The View. But what's poppin' topics? Okay, girl. I'm still gonna watch. This is no shade. I'm still going to watch the Sherri Shepherd show and give it a chance. But okay. They're trying so hard. So according to Page 6, in a conversation with Tom Arnold, Roseanne Barr's ex-husband. Yeah. So he had been on the Wendy Williams show a few times, and they liked his energy. So this is what he's saying. So Tom Arnold claims he and NeNe Leakes were set to co-host their own daytime talk show by the same people who produced the Wendy Williams show until a purse feud. You remember the Birkin feud back in 2014 between NeNe and Wendy Williams? I'll get more into that in a second. Until a purse feud between the reality star and the media personality derailed the gig. The former Roseanne star tells Page 6 he connected with Williams producers after appearances on her program, and was presented with the concept. The reason they approached me is because they see me go on Wendy, and I had a great time. The goal was to have our own show go on after the Wendy Williams show. And I said, oh, that sounds great. Let's get together. And then we did. According to Tom Arnold, the producers were jazzed about the project, telling him that they felt it would be a home run as the Wendy show was killing it at the time. All right. He says, I thought with somebody like NeNe Leakes, how do you go wrong there? And then I figured out how you go wrong. Make fun of someone's purse. If you are a longtime pop culture enthusiast, then you know what the purse situation was about. Okay. And for those that don't remember who Tom Arnold is, this is Tom Arnold, Roseanne Barr's ex. He was also on the Roseanne show. This is the bag that we're talking about. Hold on. The Birkin that she wrote all over. Okay, we'll get into this in a second. So Arnold alleged to Page 6 that Pursegate took place in 2014 after the then Real Housewives of Atlanta star showed off her custom Hermes Birkin bag covered in hand-painted NeNe-isms made famous on the Bravo show, including So Nasty, So Rude, Bloop, and Close Your Legs to Marry Men. You think she still has this bag? Of course she still has this bag. So after the handbag caught Wendy's attention, she asked both her viewers and Twitter followers, hot question, what do you think about NeNe Leakes defacing her Birkin bag? Okay. The former radio host soon deleted the tweet. Okay, if you know Wendy Williams, she did not delete the tweet. It was Tristan. And Wendy doesn't know social media. But before Leakes got wind of the shady Hot Topic segment, she responded with a scathing blog post, which Arnold claims cost them their show. So it was the battle between NeNe and Wendy is what Tom Arnold believes that cost them their daytime talk show. I didn't know that Tom Arnold was in the consideration, or did I know? I don't remember. It's a long time ago, 2014. Who cares at this point? So this bag, this is the infamous bag that we're talking about. So Wendy, I am sure people think that I've done something to you. Maybe we had a beef or I slept with your man, but none of that is true. I've actually only been nice to you, a furious leak penned at the time. I gave you a beautiful black 3200 Celine Phantom bag to celebrate your 500th show, but you haven't spoken of that, But what you have chosen to do is constantly speak negative of me and wait, I should do it like NeNe and lie on me. You know how NeNe. What you need to do is stop spewing hate. When it comes to gossip, you are the lowest of the low. All right. I know you hate because I turned down the chance to come on your talk show, and I'm sure you're scared I will take your place. I know you have heard, wink, wink, be scared. So she was hinting at her getting her own daytime talk show at the time. I have a clothing line on HSN coming out in a few days, and I know it must be hard. It must be hard for a Black woman to support another Black woman, but you should try it sometimes. I forgot this read of reads. Leakes added that the bag was painted over to raise money for a worthy charity, something she claimed Wendy Williams failed to mention to viewers. I don't have one Birkin, I have 5. Now run tell that, wig. Damn. Remember these days? I mean, look, for those that are worried about Wendy Williams and her relationship with NeNe Leakes, they got over this eventually, and then they fell out again. They fell out again. They fell out again. Arnold tells Page 6 that it wasn't long before he got the call from one of the producers, whom he had great meetings with. He says, she called me and said, I got some bad news. We can't do the show. And I said, why? And she said, because NeNe made fun of Wendy Williams' purse. Of course they get the story mixed up. And I go, who would care about somebody making fun of their purse? And the producer said, Black women care. Oh, wait a minute. Was this a white producer saying this? She explained to me it was a very personal thing. It was a big deal, she said. Wendy has the #1 show. What if Roseanne Barr was put in the same position? I go, yeah, I guess probably she would get upset about somebody saying something about her purse. NeNe is now addressing what Arnold said, okay, in an exclusive to Page 6. So basically what NeNe's saying, it wasn't just about a purse. So NeNe Leakes claims that the real reason Wendy Williams allegedly axed her daytime talk show with Tom Arnold goes beyond Frenemies' 2014 Birkin bag debacle. I love how they worded that. While the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum tells Page 6 exclusively that there is truth to the story that the former Roseanne star told Page 6, she insists there was an underlying implication that triggered her scathing blog post, which she read Wendy Williams for filth. I'm adding that part, which both she and Arnold believe cost them the gig. She says, Wendy saw that I had defaced my Birkin bag, and yes, she posted a comment on her show's social media page about it, but that wasn't the trigger. The trigger was that what she said about it and me on her Hot Topic segment. And I think we all understood that. She didn't care what Wendy said on Twitter because she knows Wendy doesn't do her Twitter. It was Wendy Williams' Hot Topic segment where she was just like, why would you do that to a Birkin? Okay. Wendy saw that I defaced my Birkin, and yes, she posted a comment on her social media page about it, but that wasn't the trigger. The trigger was that she said it about it and me on her Hot Topic segment. Prefacing that she doesn't remember Williams on air comments word for word, Leakes alleged that the Wendy Williams show host suggested she wasn't wealthy enough to deface a purse that costs in the upwards of $10,000. This is a perfect segue into this episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because it's all about the Birkins. Kim Kardashian had done the same thing around the same time, defaced her Birkin bag. Leakes told us Wendy said Kim can do that because she had the money to do such a thing, but basically I didn't. The reality TV star doesn't necessarily feel it was her furious response to Williams, which in part read, I'm sure you're scared I will take your place. I know you have heard, wink, wink, be scared, that set off the media personality. I responded by saying something like, now, Wendell, hold on. Y'all know, hold on. Now, Wendell. I responded by saying something like, now, Wendell, I have 4 Birkin bags, and I can do the same. Okay. I had to. It was like the perfect timing for this. Wendy didn't like that. Okay, the Wendell comment. NeNe claimed, adding that she allegedly never heard from the production company again. Debar-Mercury pulled the deal and stopped all communication with me. Our deal went dead. According to the Lenithia Lounge owner, she was already in talks to Debar-Mercury, which produced the Wendy Williams show at the time, when they brought up the possibility of it being a male-female duo. She claims that when Arnold was brought in, that's when Tom Arnold was brought into the mix. In his own interview, she claims, so she says in his own interview with Page Six, Tom Arnold told us that the purse debacle was an eye-opener for him and a topic he was hoping to dive into on the first episode of the show with the Leakes. However, he claimed Leakes was unrepentant. Reps for Wendy Williams did not immediately reply for comment. I'm kind of glad that this NeNe daytime talk show didn't happen. I always bring this up when I talk about NeNe interviewing Jermaine Dupri on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Doesn't mean she couldn't have gotten better. I just don't think it would have lasted long, to be honest. Daytime talk is not easy, and I don't think that NeNe would be good at it, to be honest with you. And I think that's part of the reason why they decided to bring in Tom Arnold. Honestly, because they felt like NeNe couldn't do it on her own. But who knows? Lenithia, look, not Lenithia. Not Lenithia. Why did Lenithia come out? NeNe, I just don't think that would have worked. I don't think that would have worked. Honestly, and I'm not sure if Lenithia and not Lenithia. Why am I keep saying Lenithia? Well, maybe I'm supposed to. I don't think a Lenithia and a Tom Arnold daytime talk show. First of all, hearing it now, I don't think people are that excited about that. But now you get a glimpse into the business and how these things work. You think they're really professional behind the scenes? No, let their bigger star be upset, and they're going to be like, nope, there goes your deal. There goes your deal. There goes your deal. And that's what happened. But we already talked. Lenithia, I'm going to call her Lenithia for the rest of this day. Lenithia talked about this on The Breakfast Club and pretty much confirmed that, yeah, it was Big Kelvin and Wendy that put a kibosh on her daytime talk show. I don't believe we knew, though, that Tom Arnold had been associated with it. According to NeNe in this conversation with Page Six, originally she was already in talks with Debar-Mercury, and then they decided to bring Tom Arnold into the mix until Pursegate, and then that put a kibosh on it. Like NeNe said, I don't think that was what put the kibosh on it. What really put the kibosh on it was the publicity, the back and forth on Hot Topics, because that is the most watched part of the Wendy Williams show. And she probably was embarrassed. She probably was embarrassed.